How's it going, guys? This week I'm making this sports shelf that you can customize to any sport that you play. It's gonna hold my medals on the pegs and my trophies on the top part. So if you wanna make it, stay tuned and I'll show you how. For this project, I'm going to be using a lot of leftover wood from the bird feeder project. And that's basically some 1x10 pieces here. Then I have this about 4-foot long piece of 1x8. And other than that, that's about it. I mean, I have a handful of these like things that can just hold stuff for shelves or keys or medals or whatever you want, really. So I have like 8 to 10 of those, and that should be plenty of those. If you can't find these, I'm not really sure what the name is, you can easily just use dowel instead and it will work just as well. I just think that overall these are gonna have a nicer look to them. And this should be pretty much all the wood you need. I mean, you might need a little bit more of this 1x8, so that'd be great if you had like 7 or 8 feet of that, but other than that, this should be plenty of wood for my project. Now I have both side pieces cut, and squares look a little bit boring, so I'm gonna try to make it look a little bit nicer by just adding a little angle to it, and that should make the shelf have a nicer look overall. So the first thing I'm gonna do is measure down 1 inch. Then on the other end, I'm gonna measure down or over 2 inches. Then with my opposite board, I can just go ahead and connect the 2 points, and that should give me a straight line. And with the art of eyeballing it, I just lined up my marking gauge to the general angle that this is on, and hopefully it gives me a relatively close cut to the line. So now we're at the point where we get to customize what kind of shelf we want it to be, whether we want it to be a hockey themed shelf or a baseball, basketball, football, pretty much any sport you can make it. You just want to find a little picture of some type of player, whether it's soccer, football, hockey, baseball, anything like that. And basically I just found a silhouette by typing in silhouette hockey player, or you can type in drawing book hockey player or outline of hockey player. Similar stuff to that, keywords like that are gonna get you good results. So I found one that I liked, and you wanna make sure that it's all solid, because if there's like a gap here, you can't have a piece of floating wood. So you have to make sure it's completely solid like this one. But once you find this piece, then I'm gonna go ahead and take it, and I'm actually gonna stack these and connect them together, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this on the scroll saw, so I have my custom shelf. So I just realized I didn't record any of me cutting this out, and basically what I'm doing is I was cutting out the inside on the black piece, so I'm getting rid of all the black of the silhouette, and that's basically gonna give me my hockey player outline. So now that I cut them both out at the same time, I only have to do it once, and I get a duplicate image on each piece. So I think they came out really good. What I want to do now is go ahead and cut the actual top part for the shelf, and that's going to be 30 inches long. So I have my board cut, my two sides cut, and I'm trying to debate on whether I want these just go on the outside or on the inside. And for some reason, I don't know. I kind of like the inside where it's inset a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and probably measure about 2 inches in from each side, then make a dado from there, and I'm just gonna slide the pieces in. So let's go ahead and make 2 dados for each of these side pieces. So now I have both of my notches cut out and they came out pretty good. This one's a little bit bigger than I wanted, but this one is pretty good overall. So I'm pretty happy with it. And now I need to basically go ahead and cut a back piece. But I always, when I designed it, I didn't want it to go all the way down because I thought that would look a little bit blocky. So I think I'm gonna make it go about halfway down. And that way it won't interfere with the hockey player's foot, and I think it will have a nicer look to it overall. But let's go ahead and just cut a thin strip and cut it to fit inside here. So I'm running out of scrap wood that I had, but I did find this old piece and it has some stain on it, but I'm just gonna go ahead, cut it down to size. I'll just rip the stain off it, and when I paint over it, you won't be able to tell. So now it's time to drill out the holes for this backboard, and basically these are for the pegs to fit in, and this is just a 1/2 inch Forstner bit, and I have it set. It pretty much goes almost all the way through. It stops a little bit before it breaks the back, but hopefully it doesn't go all the way through this. If it does, it's not that big of a deal because you won't see the back anyway. But basically let's go ahead and drill out all 7 holes that I marked evenly across the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue the pegs in. Just a little bit of glue should be good enough, and I can just use a mallet to tap them all the way in. here it is, the final shelf, and I still have one more coat of paint I want to add to fix a few touch-ups that I noticed I didn't quite get yet. But I think it came out really good. Hopefully you can see all the pegs on the shelves and everything. And I really like the way it came out, you know. I don't know, for some reason, I think the hockey players on the side make it have a cool, like, just unique look to it, and it's gonna look great hanging up on my wall in my room. And all the pegs on it are gonna make great for all the medals I have, because right now I just have them on a hanger. So as you can tell, it's not quite dry yet, but that's about it for this week's project. If you guys like it, please give it a thumbs up. I would highly recommend making this. It's super simple, requires very little wood, and it looks really cool when it's all done. So that's it for this week's project. Please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and get out in your shop and make one yourself.